Welcome back to the Full Force Fathers podcast, Dave, episode number 37. It is Thanksgiving week. It is our Thanksgiving episode. It's your favorite holiday, which I know that to be factual. And it's just, I'm wearing a winter hat because it's miserably cold here in Virginia. We have been dealing with some of the worst temperatures I can experience as a human since I was a little kid back home in Connecticut. We have been dealing with 40-degree highs and in the 20s at night. And as you know, I'm as cheap as the day is long, and I don't turn the heat on. So suck it up, put an extra layer on, and that's that.
Yeah, when we were talking during our workout this morning, I was complaining how it was 43 degrees when I was out there, and you're like, it's 31 here. It's significantly colder. So you're right, but I say anything under 50 degrees is terrible, and it all feels the same to me. So that's my take on that. But it is Thanksgiving. You're right. It is my favorite holiday, and I could not be more excited for the week. It's just, man, good time, family, friends. Like, it's just what a great week. Good food, football. I mean, it's awesome. Nothing.
Yeah,
better.
no, it's crazy. A year ago this week was when we left Arizona on our road trip venture in the camper. We haven't made it all the way back to Arizona, but eventually we'll be back. But this will be our second Thanksgiving in a row in Virginia. And, you know, which means this is the second Thanksgiving in a row that we haven't done Thanksgiving together, your family and mine, after 3 in a row. So it's probably my last Thanksgiving in Virginia, I think. I hope. I'd like to be back in the desert next year where it's warm and I'm not wearing a winter hat. I mean, we've had days in Arizona, Dave, where we've been 80 degrees on Thanksgiving, where we're out in tank tops and shorts and whatnot, you know, so.
Yeah, there's not much better than when you can stand outside by the Traeger, cooking, maybe have a beer, just kind of hanging out in the sun, letting the sun hit you as you're just smoking the turkey and working on the sides, all outside, not freezing your ass off, just, you know, really enjoying the weather. That was so hard for me to wrap my head around because it was always so cold. I mean, we used to have snow on Thanksgiving back in Connecticut. In fact, they just had some snow last week, poor bastards. I tell you,
yeah,
it's awful.
Yeah, for sure. The only good thing about Thanksgiving in Connecticut is the cold weather. It's hunting season. Other than that, there's nothing good about it. Not a single thing. So, and anyways, Dave, I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Where the hell are you today? in this week's edition of Where the Hell is Dave recording from?
Yeah,
where are you?
I am. This is my side yard. So that's the neighbor's house over there. And I moved locations because my house is very bare right now. So I think we can let the cat out of the bag on why that is the case. Now we've kind of teased it for a couple weeks, but Casey and I are going to be moving to Nashville in 3 weeks, which is incredibly insane to me to think that that's possible. You might say, why are you moving to Nashville? You always love talking about Tucson, love talking about the desert, and that is true. It is very bittersweet for me because we absolutely love it here. But I got a job that I just couldn't turn down at Ramsey Solutions, another thing I talk about all the time on the show. So I'm super excited to kind of combine my passion for personal finance along with my skill set in production. I'm going to be a project manager on the production side there. So helping get projects done, helping get studio projects done, YouTube shows, all that stuff, podcasts, making sure those things are getting done and that they have the help they need to accomplish that. So super excited, super crazy, busy time right now. This is going to be our last holiday in Arizona. So like I said, it is bittersweet.
Yeah, no, it's definitely bittersweet because, you know, we left last year and, you know, there's no major announcement from us. Everybody knows pretty much that we want to be back in Arizona and we will be eventually. So there's no, you know, revealing, you know, moment for us, but it's bittersweet in the sense that you're leaving, coming towards me now, and then we're going to be heading back that way eventually within the next, I'd say 6-8 months. So it's like, we're not going to really, besides just hey, how are you on our way back west and you're going to be east, you know, it's bittersweet because we started this idea of Full Force Fathers eventually being back in the same area. And now, you know, listen, that's the way life goes, guys. You got to just adapt because life takes you in all sorts of different directions, you know, and things change. And we'll just keep on doing what we're doing, just not from the same room for the time being. Who knows? We'll eventually maybe get there. But, yeah, no, I'm super excited for you. This is This is the one job, for those of you that listen to the show, that Dave would leave Arizona for. Dave loves Arizona. He moved to Arizona after I convinced him and Casey to move out there. They had they had already loved Arizona before that. But the fact that we were out there and our friendship grew, it made it a lot easier for them to move out there. And the fact that he's leaving, there's literally no other job, because Dave and I talk about money and jobs and life all the time. There is no other job in the world that Dave would leave Tucson for, because he loves it there so much. I mean, ESPN could have thrown a stack of cash at him to come back, you name it. And even in the time where Dave was applying for other jobs and stuff, in this transitioning point in his life, career transition point, there was no job that he applied for that he would even go to the interview process or the second interview process if they didn't allow him to work remotely from Arizona. So that just tells you how big of a deal this is for him. And I'm so happy for you, for him, for the listeners. I'm so happy for Dave, because this literally is the ultimate dream job for him. His idol, his passion, and his, so literally it checks all the boxes. The people that the guy that he's going to work for, his passion, which is personal finance, and then what he's really good at, his skill set. It checks all three boxes. So it's going to be a great time for him, and it's another step forward in his life and in his career. So for those of you listening, this is huge news, even though Dave doesn't really jump off the page with you with big news like I would. But it is a big deal, because he's moving 2,000 miles away from his favorite place. So I'm super happy for you, super excited, bittersweet for sure. And we were just talking about it. Today is Thanksgiving episode, and we're going to get into some our favorite Thanksgiving this, favorite Thanksgiving that, memories and moments in Thanksgiving in the past. But overall, do you feel confident? You're excited about the move. Like, give me just like grade it on some sort of level.
Man, I am off the charts excited for it. I'm excited to start working. That's the thing. Like, I can't wait to immerse myself in it, learn the company, learn the job, learn everything I can about it. I'm super excited. It's going to be a different challenge for me. I'm not actually physically doing the stuff that I've done in the past. This is going to be more of like I said, a project management role. So helping all those pieces come together, making sure that they have the things they need to be successful in their roles. And it felt like this job description was just written for me. I think that's going to be great. I'm nervous about moving to an area that we don't know anybody. I mean, we literally know 0 people. We've gotten to know our realtor there that we've been working with. So I hope he's ready for a new friend when I get to town, because he's the only person I know at this point. So Casey's relying on me to make introductions, because I'll be actually going to an office every day and meeting people, where she's working from home now. So that's going to be she's a little nervous about that, because I'm not the most outgoing person.
That's a fact. And hey, listen, I gave Dave, for those of you listening, I gave Dave one job. He's got to work his way up to the point where you can listen to Dave and I and the Full Force Fathers podcast on the Ramsey Network. So that if he doesn't do that, then this is all just for nothing. But his job, he's infiltrating the Ramsey Solutions headquarters to get me on the TV and radio. Because if anyone knows me, that is one of my all-time favorite things to do. I love doing video for my job. I love doing radio. I love doing podcasts. I love to talk. So like that is if there was ever a job that came along where I got to do all those things and have a camera on me all the time, then that would be terrific. So
for sure. Yeah. I mean, it has been stressful dealing with the house, because as a realtor, I'm selling our house. So that has been its own stressful piece of the puzzle. But we are moving forward. We're, under contract, and hopefully everything goes through. If it doesn't, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now it's looking good. So, super excited. The last couple of days I've felt a complete relief, as it's getting closer. So that's a good thing.
That's awesome. Yeah. And another big news, I finished phase 1 on Sunday. And let me tell you, no more cold showers for a while. It just was God testing me, Dave. The last week, which was last week, of phase 1 of 75 Hard, if anyone knows the program, you have to take a 5-minute cold shower every day. Well, when we had a week straight where it didn't get above 45 during the day and it was 30s and 20s at night, that cold shower is that much harder. So the fact that I am I think I'm still cold from all the cold showers that I had to take in the last month. Yeah. But the fact, phase 1 is done. I'm on my path to finish Live Hard program in 6 months from now, which will be good. And that's about the only big news that I got going on here.
And as you mentioned in the beginning of the show, too, you don't turn the heat on. So those cold showers must have felt even worse when you got out of the shower. Just the cold temperatures in your house.
Oh, the cold
temperature.
Yeah, getting out of the shower, it's 30 degrees outside, freezing cold shower, which well water is colder than your city tap water in general.
Yeah.
And the house would be 59 degrees. So my house would be 59, 60 degrees. I'd be getting out of shower. That's 40-degree water. And I instantly would just throw on a pair of flannel pants, socks, hoodie, and a winter hat and throw a blanket on. And that was about the only way to try to get my body temperature back up. And then I'd grab one of the kids like Finley and just get a little cuddle session in with the girls, and that would help give me some body heat and warm me up. So,
yeah, for sure.
So let's the big news has been revealed. Let's hop right into the show today, Dave. I'm going to let you start episode 37. What do we got for some famous number 37s? Now, I'm going to say this is a sneaky good list. It's not as deep as some of those other lists, but there's some sneaky good players on this list.
You put the list together, so I'm going to let you take the majority of it. I'm taking one person.
Okay. And
I'm taking Jimmy Johnson.
Yep.
Hall of Fame player and coach for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, when I saw this name, pre-show, I saw it. I was like, I couldn't believe he was a number 37.
Yeah.
And he is one of the guys, like, I just look back at football and respect the most. I mean, he brought so much just excitement to the Dallas Cowboys. He brought championships. I mean, that championship, that Super Bowl '95, that was his team, you know. And it's one of the things I look back on in sports too. And as a Cowboy fan, especially, you know, I get so bitter about it because that team should have been able to continue on and have been a true dynasty and won probably 3, 4, 5 more Super Bowls. Like they were that good, and he was that good of a coach. I mean, he helped orchestrate the Herschel Walker trade, getting in all those draft picks, being able to get Aikman and Emmett and all those guys. And I mean, just the personalities that he dealt with. I think he's one of the greatest head coaches of all time. And I'm one of those guys, I don't mind living in the past. I mean, bring his ass back. I'd like to take him off the Fox desk, put him back on the sidelines, and get back to it because he was that good. I mean, it's up there for me. Like him leaving. I mean, that was like when Nomar Garciaparra got traded away from the Red Sox. Like things like that. Like it's like, no, this can't be happening. Like this is such a, you know, this is just it crushed me as a fan of the Cowboys because it was so good. And I was so young then, I had a hard time realizing. But now when I look back, I can truly appreciate how good he was as a coach and the things he did. So that's the one I'm doing, number 37, Jimmy Johnson.
I mean, everyone forgets he was an unbelievably great head coach in college.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone's watched the U, that ESPN documentary on Miami, dude, that's the dude right there. Mm-hmm. He was the guy. And, you know, Hall of Fame football player, national championship winning head coach in college, Super Bowl winning coach in the pros. Whatever problems he had, him and Jerry Jones, whatever. That's the typical issue. Owner, coach, two Bulls, you know, China shop, two Rams head and butt each other. Sometimes I wish owners would just stay the hell out of it because coaches know what they do. Coaches coach. The problem with your situation in Dallas is Jerry Jones was a football player, Division I football player as it is. So he probably is too involved. Like in our situation with the 49ers, the owner, Jed York, him and Jim Harbaugh didn't get along, so York got rid of him. Jed York was a trust fund baby, went to Notre Dame, knew nothing about football. Let Jim Harbaugh coach the team. He had just taken you to a Super Bowl. But anyways, we're not going to go down that road. But yeah, Jimmy Johnson, unbelievable. Other number 37s, like I said, it's a sneaky good list. Hall of Famer Doak Walker. That's what there's an award named after Doak Walker in college football. Pretty sure that's the top running back award. Sean Alexander, another running back for the Seahawks. He was didn't win a Super Bowl, played in a Super Bowl against the Steelers. That was Roethlisberger's first title. Rodney Harrison was a menace as a safety for those great Patriot teams and all the Brady early Super Bowl years. You already mentioned Jimmy Johnson. And there's a sneaky good baseball one. No one's going to know this name. I just know it because my dad is a baseball guy. Dave Stieb, okay? He was the pitcher for the Blue Jays in the 80s. He is the second winningest pitcher in the decade of the 80s besides the great Jack Morris. So that's a freaking pretty damn good statistic. For a decade stretch, you are the number 2 winningest pitcher in baseball behind Jack Morris, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is he was a Blue Jay, and the Blue Jays in the 80s were terrible. So they didn't really get good until that early 90s with the Joe Carter teams when they won the World Series. But So that's your list of number 37s. Like I said, sneaky good list. Sean Alexander, Rodney Harrison. There's some good names on there. Jamie Johnson obviously has got the pedigree of all the championships as a coach and Hall of Famer as a player. And 37s overall, I'll tell you, maybe that may be in the 8-9 game in a season.
Yeah.
Maybe 8-9.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad.
So let's jump into our Bible verse today. This is Thanksgiving episode. So we're going to take a Bible verse out of Thessalonians. First Thessalonians, which I enjoy. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 to 18. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. All right? Give thanks in all circumstances. Gratitude, thanks. It's Thanksgiving week. Be thankful that you have a turkey on your table. Be thankful that you have family with you by your side and friends and people to lean on. Just everybody needs to be a little bit more thankful. The world is too fast as it is. Slow down. Be a little more grateful, a little more thankful for the things that you have in your life and the blessings that come from the man upstairs. That's about where I'm going to go with my Bible verse today. Oh, man. Thanksgiving episode. So this is where the fun starts, Dave, okay? We, as you guys know, we do a special either seasonal or holiday episode every time something rolls around. This is perfect because it is Tuesday and Thanksgiving's in 2 days. All right? So we are going straight Thanksgiving for the remainder of this episode until we get to the book review, book recommendation at the end. So we are going to start it off, Dave. We're going to go rapid fire, favorite this, favorite that, best this, best that. I'm starting with you. You're the food guy. I'm not the food guy. So I don't really care. But I do have some favorites in Thanksgiving that matter. And the first one is, what is your favorite dish on Thanksgiving Day?
Stuffing.
Stuffing.
I
wasn't going to think that.
Oh, man. Stuffing is so good. I don't like it with the cranberries and all that nonsense in it.
Do you like with sausage in it?
No. Just good bread, celery, onion, seasoning, some chicken stock or, turkey stock or chicken stock in there to hold it all together. Oh, man. And now I put it on the Traeger, too, which I've started to do, and it just gives it a little hint of smoke. It's terrific. Oh, stuffing all day, every day. Yeah, I can eat it cold out of the refrigerator for leftovers, hot on a plate with gravy, whatever. Stuffing it is.
For a food snob like you, that's saying a lot because you are not a leftover guy. Dave Fortin doesn't do leftovers.
This is the one holiday where leftovers are just king. I'll eat it for like 3, 4, 5 days. At that point, it's a little like I've OD'd on turkey. But yeah, man, because the leftovers are the best part, right? You got your sandwiches, you got soup, you got pot pie, you got just the regular meal again. Like there's so many different things you can do with it. It's awesome. How about you?
Yeah. Brett, that would never stop. I don't think stuffing even makes it on my plate at Thanksgiving because I am not first of all, let's be real here. I am not a bread person. I don't eat very much bread at all. So that I would never even I wouldn't even be on a list if I had to put one on there. For me, obviously, there's a caveat here because it's turkey. It's a turkey on the Traeger that you make, which is the best turkey I've ever had. So, and the best thing about the turkey is the skin, the breast, the freaking legs. It doesn't matter. It's all good. I'm more of a dark meat guy than I am a white meat. I just think it's a little more tender and a little bit more moist. But Traeger turkey is the best meal. And then Thanksgivings in past, I'm a venison guy. A tradition is hunting on Thanksgiving morning with my dad. So if I was to pick an actual meal, but it's not a consistent thing. See, right? Turkey's consistent every Thanksgiving. So your Traeger turkey stands out at the best as my favorite Thanksgiving meal because that's a consistent. But a little bit of venison backstrap, venison tenderloin. If my dad shoots a deer on Thanksgiving morning or I do, saute that up in a little teriyaki and butter, and there's nothing better than that. So that's
cool. I mean,
but
your Traeger turkey. I was hoping that's what you're going to say because I'll never forget our first Thanksgiving together. We had cooked 2 turkeys, one in the oven, one on the Traeger, and I remember coming around the corner and we had like a big table set up in a hallway where we had the extras. It was the carcasses of the turkeys because there was just not enough space. We had like 27 people here. I think it was packed. And I remember coming around the corner and there you were just picking meat off the carcass down the dark hallway. Yeah. I remember looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? There's a whole plate. He goes, this is the best part right here. Just pulling the meat right off the bone.
That's the best part. That, you know,
It's
and
so
that was
great.
and that was 3 or 4 cocktails deep back in the drinking days.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Even though I don't drink, I probably would still do that because it's so damn good. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
for sure.
all right, Dave. This one I'm very interested in your answer. My answer is very simple. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
A homemade pumpkin pie.
Okay.
And my favorite was my grandmother's pumpkin pie. My grandma Myrtle, she made the best pumpkin pie, and it's one of those sad things, right? She's not around anymore. Don't get to have some of those things, but every Thanksgiving, we'll get a pumpkin pie or make a pumpkin pie, and it reminds me of it. It's not quite the same because it's not hers, but pumpkin pie for sure. A homemade pumpkin pie is just the way to go.
Now, Andine makes a pretty mean pumpkin pie, but for me, it's pumpkin cheesecake. My wife, as you know, and those that listen to the show and follow along for a while, is a tremendous baker of desserts. And every season, it's a different cheesecake. Every holiday, it's a different cheesecake. And cheesecake's my all-time favorite dessert in general. So for me, this was very easy. Andine's pumpkin cheesecake, not even close. There's nothing close. Maybe your blueberry slab pie. Maybe second.
I'm taking a bit of offense to this right now.
Second.
Because...
Well, that is second. See, it's different because I can have a cheesecake whenever I want because Andine can make me a cheesecake whenever. You only make blueberry slab pie every once a year, or maybe sometimes twice a year. So that is my second favorite, but there's still no comparison to the pumpkin cheesecake. And then Andine always makes fresh whipped cream, puts it on top. It's just
she does make a bomb pumpkin cheesecake. So there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. What's next on the list there, Dave?
Favorite pastime.
Favorite pastime. It's got to be football. I mean, I don't know how it's not. I mean, football starts early in the day. You're usually in a house with 20 to 30 people. Football, the first game usually kicks off at 11 o'clock in the morning. You're always getting the Lions. You're always getting the Cowboys to play somebody. It's just a tradition, not to steal a Masters line, unlike any other. It's football on Thanksgiving. It's, you know what I mean? It's football on Thanksgiving, and it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Everyone is just the family's flowing. Usually there's not a whole lot of fighting or arguing going on because, it's no one's gotten to the drinks and the dessert yet and the arguments in the family, but at least you got couches, you got kids, you got people, you're just watching football, and it's got to be football.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think it for sure it is. As a Cowboy fan, I know every Thanksgiving I got the boys on. Most of the time they lose on Thanksgiving these days, but it's still, man, it's so much fun to be able to know that I can flip on the Cowboys in the afternoon game. They get the kickoff to the Salvation Army drive for the holiday season. Like, it's football all the way. Whether it's watching football or going out and throwing the football around the yard with the kids, it has to revolve around football.
Yep, absolutely. It is the, and it's usually Thanksgiving sometimes can spill over into the weekend, right? You get Thanksgiving, and then you got Black Friday when people are stupid with money and they go shopping. And then you have, usually, isn't Michigan, Ohio State Thanksgiving weekend usually? Or is that the weekend before?
Yes. Yep. It's that weekend.
So you always get a great traditional college football game too to go out with Thanksgiving, not just the Thursday games. And then the NFL, the juggernaut that the NFL is, they go and add a Thanksgiving night game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And college football, you got college football on Friday. You got games on Friday. You got games on Saturday. So really, you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's football, football, football. And then you start decorating for the holidays. And, this is like one of the best. This is one of the best weeks of the year. And I really hope everybody can appreciate it, be grateful for it wherever you're at in your life right now. Just take the time and sit back, enjoy that time with your family and your friends because it is such an awesome week.
Yeah. Now, do you have a favorite Thanksgiving memory? Like, I have one for sure. Do you have a favorite Thanksgiving memory as like a little sidebar?
I have a couple. I have two.
Okay.
I would say one of the in no particular order. One of the two is our first Thanksgiving out here. Because when we moved out here, we really we knew you guys kind of sorta. We didn't know you well when we first moved out here, and we didn't really know anybody else very well either. Now we had some people from Connecticut that were here that you were friends with and that we kind of knew of, but we didn't know them. So we thought our first holidays were really going to be just small, just kind of us, whatever. And our first Thanksgiving, we hosted, and like I said, we had I think it was 27 people in our house for Thanksgiving. And that was crazy to me. Like that was like, it was awesome. Cause I love the holiday. I love cooking. I love, having parties at the house and being able to do that. So having 27 people in our house when 7 months earlier, we didn't know us more than 2 people here was really special for me. So that goes down as one of my favorite Thanksgiving memories. And the second one I'm thinking of was my last Thanksgiving in Connecticut. I got to do the turkey trot. I had something I always wanted to do, the Goshen turkey trot.
Terrible race, by the way.
My dad went with me. Yeah, it is. But my dad went with me. Full force fathers, right? My dad was by my side for like all the things I do. And it was -8 and he was still standing there by my side at the start of the race. And it was just a big accomplishment for me. It was something I wanted to do. It was a 10K, freezing cold. My dad was there. Then we went home and we made Thanksgiving dinner. We had family over and it was a lot of fun. Didn't really know at the time that was going to be my last Thanksgiving there either, because we didn't know about the job offer for a little while. I was kind of thinking about it, but didn't know about it. So that's my other one because it ended up being the last one there.
Yeah, that's it. The turkey trot in Goshen is a tiny little 10K race. Actually, it draws out. It gets a good crowd for it, even though it's in the middle of nowhere, Connecticut. And I've run that race, and I mean, one year I had to snowplow a path to my parking spot because it snowed out one year. I ran the turkey trot in Goshen, and there was like 6 inches of fresh snow on the ground. They didn't cancel the race. Whoever didn't show up. And I remember running through snow because that race is some on asphalt. You cut through the park, through the woods a little bit, and it's a good race. So that is a good 10K. That's a good one. My favorite Thanksgiving memory is very vivid. I remember it like it was yesterday. Thanksgiving 97. As you say, my family were hunters, and we always hunted on Thanksgiving morning. And 97, I was 11 years old, and my brother was 12. And my dad, I'll never forget, got one of the biggest bucks. It's still on his wall. The ONG 8-pointer that he got. And that morning, I remember my mom, doing the turkey and everything else and cooking. And all of a sudden the phone rang because there was no cell phones or anything back then. It was the house phone. And it was my dad. Hey, I got a huge buck. Come on, I'm coming. I'll be right there. And sure enough, my dad came and picked me and my brother up. And we got to go hike out into the woods and drag this deer out, this massive deer. It was the biggest thing we had ever seen before. We were 11 and 12 years old. And we had to drag it out of the woods. And, you got to field dress it and, just a vivid Thanksgiving memory. And then we got to have venison, like I said, for favorite food. We got to have venison backstrap, the tenderloin, for part of our Thanksgiving meal that day. And it was just, I remember it like it was yesterday. And it was just a cool time, with my dad in the woods, like our favorite things to do when we're hunting, So that one for sure, and it was with my brother, any memory that I have my brother with me and it is also extra special. So it was a good one. That was for sure my favorite Thanksgiving memory that I can just like vividly remember. We have a lot of great memories, but that one in particular, which I want to segue kind of into like a favorite memory because we co-host this show. We've been doing this now 37 weeks. Like you and I were talking this morning. Like, do you have a favorite Thanksgiving memory? Like, obviously, that first Thanksgiving at your house was really awesome. But I was telling you this morning, like when I took the turkey out yesterday to thaw it out and put it in the fridge, I told Dave that I said, man, I just had a sentimental moment. Just by myself, I had gone out to the freezer, grabbed the turkey, and put it in the bowl and put it in the fridge. And I said, it instantly clicked. And sometimes you do something and instantly brings like a flashback. And it was like, I remember instantly that year that you did the things, Dave had no room for turkey in his fridge. So it instantly triggered Dave coming over to my house. And it's the same fridge. The fridge that I have on my back porch here in Virginia was the same fridge that I had in the garage in Oro Valley. And Dave coming over with this towel wrapped around this turkey. And he put it in a bowl and put it in the fridge in the same spot on the fridge. And it just triggered a memory. And I was like, man, Dave, like what a tremendous memory. So like that one, like that's like a memory that no one even thinks, but just like, there's always that something that like, boom, it just clicks and it brings something back up. And that for me, man,
Yeah.
that just triggered a memory and an emotion like, holy shit, dude. Like Dave and I don't do Thanksgiving together anymore, but like I just vividly remember that turkey going in our fridge in our garage, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I know. For me, we have a picture floating around. It was that picture we all took around the Thanksgiving table. I remember you, 'cause you're the tallest one of our group. You were sitting right on the end with me, and you just stuck your big long arm out there to take the picture and snap it with everybody back. And that's one of mine. Every time I see that picture, I love it. It brings back so many great memories from that day, because it's weird that, like that Thanksgiving, just with changes in people's lives and our friend group too. That whole group is disassembled. That was a moment in time that forever is kind of a snapshot for me of how great that moment was. And it also makes me appreciate those moments even more, because like I said, so many of those people in that picture their lives are not the same right now for various reasons. And like getting that same group around that table is never going to happen again.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah. That Thanksgiving was, it's crazy. It's wild, man.
Yeah.
And then obviously just hanging out at your house, Thanksgiving morning, coming over in the morning, bringing the turkey. Then just like, because we live so close to each other, I could walk your house in 60 seconds. So we literally were just like, I'm going to Dave's for a bit. Oh, Dave's coming over. Oh, Dave's got to put something in the fridge. Oh, I got to go brag that. You know what I mean? It just was so like, simple.
And Dean would heat something in her oven. You guys would bring it over, like it'd be ready to go. It'd still be piping hot because it's right around the corner. It's just man.
That is one of the cool.
This was a. Go ahead.
That is one of the cool things about living in those type of neighborhoods. Like when you have someone that you're close with, it's just so easy. It's just everything's easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll forever be grateful for this moment in time where we got to be so close as neighbors, because I mean it would be one of those things. And it wasn't just Thanksgiving. It was like, hey, I'm gonna cook some burgers this afternoon. You want to come over? Boom, you guys are in the driveway.
Yeah, no, it's so easy.
Like, hey, come on over. We're doing s'mores tonight around the fire, so we'd run over to your house, and like, you'd have neighbors over too, and it's just like, I don't know. This was a man. That's why I say it's bittersweet moving too, because this was an awesome stretch of our life.
Yeah, and I think it's a life lesson for everybody to really cherish those moments, because like before you know it, dude, you're 2,000 miles away, and you at the time you're like, it's such an inconvenience to do this, that, and the other thing, and then you're like, shit, dude, now I'm 2,000 miles away, and you really cherish and relish in those moments that you were able to do that with people, because I'm telling you, you need people in your life. You need a tribe. You can't do it solo. You just, words of wisdom. You need a tribe. Someone that you can lean on, someone that can lean on you. You need that tribe, and when it's not there, it sucks. It really does, and you're going to experience that a little bit moving away. I experienced that for the last year of not really even having, besides phone calls, people to lean on, and it sucks. But, we're not going down the Proverbs this day. We're just talking about Thanksgiving and cool things. You have any traditions? Like one tradition that I had always growing up, we always did a Thanksgiving walk after dinner. Whoever was in the house, you got outside because everyone was full. They're all, you want to fall asleep watching football. So we always, no matter what the weather was, whether it was snowing, it was cold, it was a mild Thanksgiving, whenever we were done eating dinner, we always just got up and went for a walk. Everyone put on their shoes and went for a walk to the end of the block or around the, quick little, to the park or something. Do you have any traditions like that? That's just the one that always sticks out in my mind is we always went for a walk.
Not really. We lived on a busy street back in Harwinton, so like going for a walk, you'd have to get in the car to go somewhere to go for a walk. So that was never really a thing. That was a thing for Casey. When she grew up, she used to always go up to Massachusetts, to Gloucester, to visit some family friends up there. That's where they spent Thanksgiving. That was one of the things after dinner. They'd go for a big walk along the water, and so the year we spent Thanksgiving up there when we were finally together, that was one of the things we did. And I thought that that was cool. Thanksgiving has been a weird holiday for me to do traditions, because most of the time I've traveled a lot over the years on Thanksgiving. I mean, this week, Thursday, after I cook the bird, we eat, have a good time. I gotta hop on a plane and go to Austin, on Thanksgiving night. So for me, it gets a little weird. I mean, when I was on game day, I would leave Thanksgiving morning, so I wouldn't even get to enjoy Thanksgiving at home. I mean, we'd be on the first flight out Thursday morning. We get there. Now, what was cool was, and I will say this, as much as it was painful to not be home with family and it sucked, that group was like a family, and everybody on that show traveled all the time, and you traveled together. Coming from different places, but nonetheless, you'd come to whatever city you were going to together. So what they do is they basically rent out a frat or sorority house, because all the college kids are gone. So you could rent out a house for the day, and all the people on the crew would cook and make the food, and we just hang out and just party. They had multiple living rooms in these huge, fraternities and whatnot, and you'd watch football games. I mean, one year, I think it was either I spent a Thanksgiving in Columbus and a Thanksgiving in Stillwater. And I think the one in Columbus, they had a basketball court inside. So we were balling after dinner. Like, it was great. Just like, kind of get to have fun. So it was like with your extended family, because it wasn't your real family, but we spent so much time together. That was cool. But long way to get around your question. No, I don't have any real traditions. I mean, I always flip the Cowboy game on, whether I'm at home, I'm in an airport, on an airplane, whatever it is, the Cowboy game is on, and I've got an eye on it. That's really the only one. And I love to do it. So we will host every year because I just love to do it.
Yeah, I understand. Your work for a lot of years took you away from the potential of traditions and family and stuff on Thanksgiving. So, but to wrap up our Thanksgiving, conversation, why, and I don't know, you may second what I say, but like the reason why, like there's always the one reason why you love a holiday, right? Everyone loves Christmas because the kids get to open presents, and everybody loves, I don't know, Easter because it's like your kickstart to spring and Jesus has risen and all that good stuff. And there's so many different reasons why. Like, but Thanksgiving for me, it's usually the holiday, maybe with Christmas included in this. It's the holiday where you're with your family and friends, maybe more so friends and family together. And that's what I love most about it. It's just the being together part of it. Because for one day, you don't got to worry about work. You don't got to worry about school. You don't got to worry about any of that stuff because nothing's open. And you just get that one day to be with family and friends and just spend it. You're joking around. You're throwing a football, like you said. You're eating. You're watching football. You're having a good time. And it's like that one holiday where for us, these last couple of years have been weird, right? Last year, we had just moved here. COVID was in full swing. Andine's dad was on his deathbed because of COVID. So our Thanksgiving in Virginia last year was kind of, it was just us in a new kitchen and all this other stuff, and had a turkey. And then same kind of this year.
Yeah.
Her cousin's cooking, so we're not really doing anything. We're going over there to eat. But the fact to be with somebody, to be with friends and family is like the reason why I love Thanksgiving so much.
Yeah, I do second that. And, we're excited for Thanksgiving this week. We've got some great friends coming over, super excited to hang out with them and get to enjoy their company. The other piece of why I love Thanksgiving so much is because there's no expectations or build up getting ready for it. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you got to pick up some food at the store. You start pre-cooking some stuff, but it's just about hanging out together as a family and with your friends and just like eating some good food, hanging out, watching football, just very casual, is what I like. I mean, Christmas is a fun holiday, right? Who doesn't like Christmas? But there's so much pressure on it. There's so many things you've got to force. At least we feel like we have to force in. You've got to make sure you make plans to go see Santa Claus. You got to go see Christmas lights. You got to hang your Christmas lights. You got to do your Christmas shopping. You got to wrap your presents. You got to make the cookies. You got to pass out the cookies. You got all these things you have to, like, you feel like pressure, social pressure, whatever it is that you have to do because you want to make it special for the kids and for everybody. And just it takes a lot for that. And Thanksgiving isn't that. It's just get together on Thursday, have a hell of a good time, get stuffed, have leftovers, and you got memories for a lifetime.
One more tradition I want to throw in there for Thanksgiving, and this has been a tradition of ours for the last 8 years now. This is our 8th year. And one tradition that Andine and I and the kids do now is and I don't know, I want your topic. We put up the Christmas tree on Thanksgiving night. We always do that now. That we've been doing that for the last 8 years. And the reason why, and you can shake your head like an idiot, the reason why we do that is because growing up, it was a cardinal sin to have a fake Christmas tree. If you had a fake Christmas tree, you were not an Aragoni. You were literally banished from the household if you had a fake Christmas tree. You had to go in the woods. Like Chevy Chase says in Christmas Vacation, You cut it down with your bare hands. If you didn't cut a Christmas tree down with bare hands, if you went to a buy here, pay here lot with a bunch of trees, if you didn't go out in the woods and cut a tree down in my family, it was literally a cardinal sin. So when we moved to Arizona in 15, we realized there's no real Christmas trees in Arizona. You can't go cut a tree down in the desert, right? So the first Christmas there, we went to Walmart because Walmart had one of the big tents and the guys where they ship in the Christmas trees. And mind you, this 8 years ago. We went to that tree tent and we're like, well, we need a Christmas tree. We need a real Christmas tree. It's obviously like there's no excuses. It's a real Christmas tree or nothing. And we went in there and for like a 7-foot Christmas tree, it was $100. And I said, are you kidding me for a 7-foot pre-cut Christmas tree? So we literally, first time in my life, we walked into Walmart. We found a fake Christmas tree for $79, 7 feet high, nice and big. Yeah. We bought it. And ever since that time we bought that Christmas tree, we have put it up on Thanksgiving night because the girls get all fired up. It's Thanksgiving. It's to kick off the holiday season. So for the last 8 years now, we've put up the Christmas tree on Thanksgiving night because we don't got to worry about watering it. Now, granted, if I ever get back to a place where real Christmas trees exist, because even in Southern Virginia, there's not a whole lot of there's not very many Christmas tree farms around here. Last year was so new we didn't go find one. But this year, we're just going to stick with the fake Christmas tree because the girls wanted to put it up in 2 days from now. But I know I was long-winded, but that is a new tradition. We always put up that fake Christmas tree on Thanksgiving. And you're going to tell me why it's too early because you hate Christmas because you're the freaking Scrooge.
Yeah, it is too early because it's Thanksgiving. It's still Thanksgiving. We're talking about how much we love Thanksgiving. You're putting up a damn Christmas tree. It's ridiculous. You go into the stores in September and there's Christmas stuff there. It's ludicrous. That's one of my biggest beefs with Christmas is that it pushes the joy of Thanksgiving out the window because everybody wants to just Christmas. No, Thanksgiving is a great holiday on its own. It doesn't need to be bumped by Christmas. Christmas is a great holiday as well, but in due time. I don't need to be celebrating Christmas on Thanksgiving. I would wait until December. Casey loves Christmas. The kids love Christmas. So I have come to an agreement the day after Thanksgiving, we can start with the Christmas process. And we end up probably putting up a Christmas tree then that weekend. You know, most of the time they wait for me because I'm traveling. I got to get home. So usually it's Saturday or Sunday. We end up doing a Christmas tree and the lights and all that stuff. But I have a hard deadline. It does not happen on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Can't happen.
Respect. I can respect that. Way too early. I respect that.
You lose Thanksgiving. You spend all of Thanksgiving thinking about putting up the damn Christmas tree.
You're out of control, dude. You're nuts. Anyways,
can you tell that irritates me?
Anyways, yeah, because you're the Scrooge. You hate Christmas. You literally hate Christmas.
That's not true at all. Not true at all. And as we get moving here in the next few weeks, people will see my love for the holidays.
No.
My joy.
I'm going to challenge you right now. Christmas is not a top 3 holiday for you. And you know it. It's not. It is not a top 3 holiday for you. I can tell you 3 that you like better than it.
No, that's not true. It's the top. It's the third.
It's the third?
It's third.
Okay, I know July 4th. July 4th.
No, that's where 3 and 4.
No, you like July 4th.
Thing between
you like July 4th more than Christmas.
Kind of.
Yeah, I'm right. I know I'm right.
Definitely go Thanksgiving, Halloween.
Yeah.
July 4th, Christmas.
Yeah. I know it's not in your top 3. I know it. So
it's close. I mean, the seeing the kids enjoy Christmas makes it that takes it into the top 3 for me. It does. It's number 3, but it takes it into the top 3. Before we had kids, though, yeah, not the top 3.
You lie like a
but
rug.
I have some Christmas, like there was, when my mom died, it was around the holidays. So it kind of tainted Christmas for me for a while, just because every year Christmas would come around and it brought that up. Yeah. Once we had kids, like I said, it came back to that. But that's kind of why. Sorry, I didn't want to take it down that rabbit hole, but you kind of pushed me there.
No, well, listen, let's just stop talking about Christmas right now because it's overtaking our Thanksgiving episode, which is exactly what you didn't want.
Exactly. You had to bring up the Christmas tree, and it's already hijacking Thanksgiving, which is ridiculous.
Okay, listen, We're done with Thanksgiving. We're done with talking about early Christmas. Book recommendation: Leadership, Strategy, and Tactics by the great Jocko Willink. Okay, this book, you learn to lead. That's the best way to put it, man. He's a lieutenant commander in the SEAL teams. He is an absolute machine. Follow him on social media. Follow his podcast, one of the great podcasts out there. He is calculated. He is planned. He is monotone. He never changes his voice when he's talking about things. He's an all-American, badass, patriot, protected our country, badass Navy SEAL, one of the most mentally tough human beings out there. He just started a new hunting clothing line called Origin USA with Cam Hanes. Talk about a double man crush. Are you kidding me? Read this book. It says right on the back. I'm going to read the back. Learn to build trust. Learn to be decisive. Learn to take command. Learn to control your emotions. Learn to deliver the truth. Learn balance. Learn the strategies and tactics. Learn to lead.
Yeah, that's great. And I think you could probably read the book faster than listening to one of his podcasts. Because it is like you think our podcasts are long? I mean, you sent me one that was like 4.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous. Why? It might have even been longer than that. I mean, His interviews are incredible. He has, he talks to people and you get stories that you would never hear anywhere else. It does take a bit to get used to him because of the monotone. But if you can kind of get past that, his content is tremendous. And yeah, I saw a story somewhere about his clothing line and some of the stuff he's doing, hiring veterans, and everything's in the USA. So yeah, go support him. Read the book.
Absolutely, man. Hey, listen, everybody that tuned in, happy Thanksgiving from Dave, from me, from my family to your family. Just enjoy this time with the people that you love the most. Thank the Lord above and just be grateful.
Yep. Yeah. Be grateful. Enjoy the time with family and friends. Live the full force life, and we'll talk to you soon.